Now. Well, hello! Welcome! Now! Now! Hello! Nope, just now. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Wayward Gamers, to the Emporium. We here are the Emporium for the Wayward Gamers. I am Jay, your GM, also known as Neofut3 on the socials, and we are back for Season 2, Episode 1, with all of these wonderful players and talent, and we cannot wait to share what we've cooked up for you. So, enough about me right now. We are going to introduce our players. So we're going to start a little out of order because we've got some surprises as well, because we want to keep some things under wrap. But Jim, welcome back. How are you? And who are you playing, for those that are wondering?
We are back, and we're excited to be here. And I am playing Glassstock Steelcloak, the Dwarven Sorcerer.
Oh, excellent. Thank you hey, you know what? It is episode 1, and we already have a slight technical difficulty. And guess what? I'm going to fix that while Carrie introduces herself.
Sure thing. Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm at Carrie Schultens on Twitter, and you can find me on several of these fun tabletop RPG streams. And tonight I am playing Bryn Broadriver, the half-elf badass. And yeah, where we are, when we are, nobody knows.
That is a very interesting, that is very true, because that is part of the recap that we'll talk about, the shenanigans that happened in Season 1 finale. And I say shenanigans because that's, entertainment value. Thank you so much. And for our first guest star for the Season 2, Robo, welcome. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
It's me, RoboGoblin. And you can find me at TTR. I'm sorry, did I say no? Okay, I'm gonna say. What the hell was I gonna say? See,
you're gonna say your TTRPG.
Oh yeah, I'm at TTRPGs on Twitter and on Twitch, and I'll be playing.
That's
me.
Robo's been sitting on that for the last half hour.
He's been waiting to do that for 2 weeks now.
Oh, yes.
Redacted.
So the reason why we did that is we're going to have our 2 guest characters, a surprise, because we want the Glassstock and Bryn to be surprised when they meet them. So we don't want to spoil anything for the players as well. So that is why is that. Thank you for joining us. I am so glad you can join us for Season 2, Robo. I'm excited to have you here, and this is going to be awesome. Last but never least, our next wonderfully talented guest player, Joshua. How are you doing? Welcome.
Slightly confused by the intro, but I'll take it. No, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited. Just thank you for having me. For those who don't know me, you can find me on Zgintu Penguin here on Twitch, and I am JRailTech over on Twitter. Yeah, fun times. I'm so excited. I am outside of streams. I'm typically the forever GM, so I just have like the binder full of characters that I'm just going to wait until Jay says something, and that's when we'll figure out what I'm playing. Fine.
I call that being on call.
That's okay, because, that's it. I am Jay, also known as Neofut3 on the socials, as I said. Welcome to the Emporium of the Wayward Gamer. We play D&D, Star Wars, and also some other games that are coming up, which is the announcement. So Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, you will be joining us here for D&D actual live play of Saltmarsh Legends. Starting next week, Thursday, the 29th. Champions of Eclipsia. Our wonderful friend and GM, Kurt, is going to be bringing that game to the Emporium, and we start episode 1, season 2, next Thursday. And join us for a several month run of that. And then on October 2nd, Sundays, it is Star Wars Sundays for the launch of the new campaign of Star Wars Shadowport Adventures, Luck of the Draw. That is our new campaign that we will be running on Sundays continuously. Also, starting next year, we have several games coming to the channel. And we are looking at a very, very busy schedule throughout the entire channel. We are also looking at a dedicated graphic designer that we are going to be hiring for the channel. So we're looking at some big things that are coming our way. We're looking at Call of Cthulhu. We're looking at Hunter. We're looking at some more D&D, more mini-series of various of games. Also, we want to pull in a lot of different games and do a lot of mini-series, 2, 3, 4 episodes of runs. So join our socials, join our Twitch. We have our Twitch channel. We have YouTube, which all of our videos and vlogs will be put on our YouTube channel, which because I am, I have all these wonderful things in my wheelbarrow that do not seem to be work right now because Simpsons doesn't seem to be working right now. Well, that is just darn tootin'. Wow. Okay.
What a shame. I guess we'll just have to play some D&D.
We'll just have to play some D&D. But we also we have a new Patreon. So we have a Patreon. So if you want to grab you know what? Things are not my Nightbot is not working. So we will figure that out on break, and so we have a Patreon. We have 4 levels. If you want to share and join us and help us out, by all means, please do. Nope, unfortunately, it is not set for that. So I've got to double check on the why my Nightbot is not working. So whatever the case might be, Nightbot is not working. So it's probably with new OBS stuff. Yep, all my things are not working. So there we go. We'll figure it out during the break or later on, and we'll get those put up. But we also announcement, we now have a merch store. So the Emporium for the Wayward Gamer has merch. We have t-shirts, we have tank tops, we have mugs. For those that play by Star Wars, you will get understanding the dice are set. So needless to say, we will provide more information. If you want to help us out, by all means, please join us there.
My tank top's not clean, so I didn't get a chance to wear it.
Okay. Little thing called responsibility, but
I was gone for 2 weeks. Leave me alone.
Yes. But so we've got lots more announcements coming. We are expanding the Emporium. We are looking forward. We're going to be having some more giveaways later on, depending on the games. We're having, like I said, Mercenary Tales, Star Wars Mercenary Tales will be joining us again. So there's a lot of stuff. The other announcement, and the most important announcement is, actually there's 2. As you notice, we have guest players. So our wonderful friend and comrade, Jeff, who plays Vero Starborn. He's gone.
Vero Sunburn is gone for a while.
Yeah, he's been gone. Is not here. He is on sabbatical. He's on an educational sabbatical, and we hope to have him return. He will return next year sometime, and we will find out. But we've weaving him into the storyline as well. So there are some envelopes that may or may not be linked to it, but there's some stuff that we've got going that is we've got some new in play stuff. So yeah. The other important notification that we have a schedule change. So unfortunately, due to some factors beyond our control, dickheads, we have to move our time to 8:30. So we will be starting at 8:30 in the future, and we'll be going until 10:30. So based off of that,
8:30 Pacific time.
Eastern.
Yeah. 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, 5:30 Pacific.
Pacific. Yeah.
So those are our times, and then Mountain Time is going to be 6:30. How that works in. So lots of stuff, but check out our socials. We will post it all on our Twitch channel or our Twitter. So keep that up. Now, I've talked enough. So now it is time to jump into season 2.
We have an affiliate too.
Oh! I completely forgot. Thank you for announcing. We have an affiliate, and that affiliate is Talon and Claw. Our wonderful friends at Talon and Claw. None of them were working.
None of them were working. I already tried it.
Okay, so if you are friends at Talon and Claw, if you go to Talon and Claw and you put in a promo code of Dragon Daddy, just Dragon Daddy, you will get 10% off on any purchase, because they are wonderful friends, and we are so happy that they've affiliated with us as well as many other wonderful people. Thank you, OBS, for updating and completely changing everything. Nothing working. So hey, guess what? Episode 1, always something exciting. Now, the last thing I was going to say is, generally with several of us, we have we want to make sure that it is okay not to be okay. Right now, it is trying times, and it is okay to need help. And normally I would be putting up a help button, would be able to get a telephone number if you're seeking help to be able to. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not working right now, but just remember that it's okay right now. Many people are in need of it. Get the help that you need, because we love you and we want you in the community. And now, with that, we are going to join this group in the Saltmarsh Legends. And the recap of season 1, we left Glasstalk and Bryn battling a heroic and entertaining battle. Check out the VODs. Against their arch nemesis, the Alchemist, who has kidnapped Rocky and Aviro. Aviro escaped, and a great epic battle occurred. And then, like clockwork on his watch, the chime went off, and the Alchemist monologued some more, touched a magical box of some design, touched Rocky, and disappeared as lightning struck the standing stones of Oak Island in the city of Saltmarsh, 150 years from its birth of creation of Saltmarsh. Bryn, Glasstalk, and Aviro went in, and lightning struck it again, and they were propelled 50 years into the future of the city, where it was being burned by an ancient-looking black dragon that looked very similar and possibly a very old Rocky, destroying Saltmarsh. And a young man who turns out was a teenager that they knew in the city comes up to them with a harper pin, gives them a book, gives them a device, and tells them 3 things: find Aviro, save the sheep, save the dragon. And with that, lightning struck the box, and they were propelled 150 years into the past to find themselves not in the city, not in the village, which the village is previous, but in the town of Saltmarsh. 50 years from MTD's Legends of Saltmarsh, and 100 years in the past from where they were at. And we pick up as Glasstalk and Bryn find themselves standing, wet, it's raining. They stand up for a second, and they're looking around, and they can see that the lights of Saltmarsh are dimmer, and the realization that this Saltmarsh is not the city. And that is where we're going to pick up Bryn and Glasstalk. What would you like to do?
Bryn is just looking around trying to gain her bearings, kind of. She's not saying much.
Glasstalk didn't take any damage during the fight, but I know Bryn got hit. So
If I had to put a number on it, I'd say I'm hurt 27 out of 32.
Okay.
bloody, bloody.
I'm fine. I'm a little. I'm bloody, but like in the cool way.
Yeah.
I've got cool looking wounds.
Cool wounds. Then use.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, like there's
Yeah.
the full on like eyebrow split like that exists. You know, it's
Right.
cool.
Okay, I'm gonna cast a just a first level cure wounds on Bryn.
Okay.
Thank you.
And at about this time, as you're kind of standing there,
Oh, 12.
nice.
That'll do her.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
My
Very
cool
nice.
wounds are gone. Thanks a lot.
All right. So as you sit and you're getting your bearings a little bit longer, suddenly you hear coming from the bridge, galloping, as if horse hooves are just at a full gallop towards you. Bryn, you
Bryn would
notice this
Sorry, go ahead.
first because of your passive perception.
Bryn would tell me if this is okay or not. Bryn would want to like duck and hide somewhere, and she would kind of yoink Glassdock along with her, if that's okay.
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
Very Scooby Doo. Okay.
Yeah, very Scooby-Doo. Give me a stealth check.
Okay. Oh God. All nervous. 19.
19. Not too bad. And as you duck behind, suddenly you see this war horse being ridden by a very large individual and comes in and just slides right in front. Robo, would you please describe your character on top of this war horse of yours?
You see this giant ass warforge. It's about 6'6".
As long as it's not just a giant ass. Okay.
It's not,
Oh, God.
not just an ass giant.
Robo's really creative.
Hey, you got a pretty. It's a cute ass. But he looks like he's a big buff warforge and has teal eyes and just a little bit of a pouch on his belt. And that's pretty much all you see from him. He's riding a pretty awesome horse, and I'm just looking around trying to see.
And to give you a description, it's a dark brown Clydesdale that he's riding, this big
Huge.
horse. Just
Wow.
a huge horse, and it's supporting him as you kind of come in. And actually, Robo, can I get perception checks from both the new guest players, please?
19.
Wow.
Winning.
11.
Nice start, Josh.
So, Goblin, you're kind of looking around, and Josh, you noticed that because you were running, you saw where they ducked to. What would you like to do?
Okay. So the horse begins to step forward, and the back of it starts to shape down as this warforge is kind of planted on the ground as the horse shifts and changes to a dark to kind of a tan-skinned elf that's wearing a black long coat with kind of a wide-brimmed black hat. As he steps forward, he goes, and he just stares right where you're hiding, like he can't see you, but he knows you're there. And he says, I know you're there. Come out. Tell us what you know.
Did you see somebody in there?
Yes, whatever this lightning brought with it.
Bryn has her sword out, and she would kind of look at Glassdog and be like, it's been fun. And then she would step out. It's over. We're fucked. And Bryn would step out and be like, we don't know anything. Who are you? What do you want?
I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts and read this person's surface thoughts.
Is that an automatic?
I believe it is a will save, is it?
Surface thoughts are supposed to give me enough of a stall time to double check.
While you're double checking, be sure to check out our new merch store at the link that's not yet available. Check us out after break when we have it all figured out.
Amazing ads.
You can blah blah blah. You can penetrate. Those are not the helpful.
Tell
things
you what,
need.
I will.
Yeah,
I will
make the wisdom save. Make the wisdom.
Okay, perfect. Okay, can do. That's a 6.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Yeah. So
Bryn's an open book.
Yeah,
What can we say?
Yeah. So, Bryn, what is your surface thought? Because you've been really confused about what's the realization that you are not in the city anymore, but you are in a town 100 years in the past.
So what you would hear, Joshua, is in your head, you would hear like Bryn's voice, the voice of this person who just talked to you, like lots of questions all overlapping each other. And they include, was that Rocky? Where are we? Are we even when we left? Is Glassdock okay? Where's Aviro? Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Like you hear just all these things on top of each other, like almost like whispered versions of her voice.
So
deep down you hear Dragon Daddy.
He holds out his hand. The elf holds out his hand and he says, "Oh, okay. It seems like you have just as many questions." Dragon Daddy? Okay. It seems like you have as many questions as we do. I'm Talako of the local I'm Talako. I am a patron here. I am trying to establish residence. I am trying to research these lightning storms that has brought you here. But you have a lot of questions. Would you like food and discussion and drink?
And that's when Glassdock steps out and says, "Drink?"
And then Bryn would kind of roll her eyes and she'd be like, I guess that's a yes. This is Glassdock. I'm Bryn.
And Talako will turn and look at the warforged that was just riding him a few moments ago.
I'll be just, hello, my name is Golbinax Markicast, but everybody calls me Goblin.
Well, as my esteemed friend here said, her name is Bryn. My name is Glassdock. And yeah, we're just a little confused at this moment. So if you gentlemen want to head into town, is the wicker goat around?
Is the wicker goat around?
So, Glassoff, you know it's the wicked goat.
Okay, wicked goat. Yeah,
the wicked goat. But Goblin
Nebulous.
and Talco, it's the wicker goat. He's mispronouncing it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And I will confirm, the wicked goat is in the city of Saltmarsh.
Okay.
The wicker goat is in the town.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say wicked goat.
We don't know a wicked goat. We have a wicker goat.
I look at Glassdock kind of concerned. Huh. And then I kind of like look back at the town and I see that the lights are very dim and I'd be like, I'm almost afraid for the answer. What, this is going to sound strange. What year is it?
It's 50 years in the town.
It's this many years. And goes, what are you from a different time? Is that what this is that what you've been brought? It's from someone else.
And Glassdock walks up to Goblin X and, you know, obviously because of the height difference, he can't put his hand on his shoulder, but he does like pat him on the back. He says, "My rather tall and strong friend, we shall have drinks and discuss this." And Glassduck
fine.
just starts walking towards the bridge.
I would look at you said Talico is what species?
Wood elf.
What elf? So Bryn would speak in Elven to Talico and would say, I'm dying to get out of the rain. I'm dying worse for a drink.
Are you talking about me?
No, just speaking of food and drink and getting out of the rain. And like Talico looks up and realizes like his hat that protects him from the rain, he kind of forgets about precipitation every once in a while, and that we're like, oh yeah, it's raining. Yeah, we should.
Bryn looks like a drowned rat.
I will. I'll say, well, hop on. We'll get you out of the rain faster. And I spin, and I'll turn back into the warhorse, into the giant Clydesdale that can carry Goblin.
When you do that, does it look like the Animorph style, or how does it look?
Yes,
It
describe
stops
how you
at the halfway point.
how you wild shape.
Yeah, as he wild shapes, as he turns, everything that he's wearing and his skin starts to turn the color of whatever animal that he's turning into. In this case, that dark brown, that light brownish Clydesdale color. And it's very much like everything starts to smooth together into the texture. It's very much that like Animorphs is a really
Like
good
Animorphs.
comparison. Yeah, it's that Animorphs, like as it starts to shift, like the skin and the clothes start to merge together as they start to as his arms turn into legs and enlarge, and his neck starts to get longer, and face and nose start to elongate. But depending upon how used to you being around druids, it feels like it happens super quick.
Okay.
Like it's not just like the standard, transition. Like it's very much a get on, and you're like, that was kind of okay. It's over. Got it. Okay, that was fast. All right.
Come with me if you want to live.
And I turn to Bryn, and I like it when Talico does that. It looks like it hurts, but I don't think it hurts.
That is really something.
And in your brain, you hear, "Thank you."
Oh my god. Okay, I hate it. Bryn would say that out loud. Okay, I hate it. I look at Glassdock. I'm like, I've never needed a drink more in my life, and I just kind of like get up my gumption and I hop onto the Clydesdale.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna need a boost up.
And
Yep.
I give Glassdock the hut first, and I hop up.
Okay. So as you are making your way into Saltmarsh, and in Roll20, you're going to be able to see the Town of Saltmarsh's map that was able to be put together. You start going, and you're going over this newly constructed bridge that you've seen for like what you're used to. But it's newly constructed, and there's still some stuff. And as you get to the other side, there is it used to be a meeting place where the 4 statues of the Saltmarsh founders were being placed. Right now, it's just beginning. The plates are being under construction, and the statues themselves are in crates being about. So it hasn't even been constructed yet in this meeting area. And as you make your way through the nice part of the Nobles Road to kind of you notice that there's not enough houses that you're used to. Because when you came this way, like I said, the houses, and there was a lot more compact, there's a lot more there. And you get to see, you're above where the city, and as you're looking down, as you get closer, the Temple of Mistra, the large pyramid, isn't there. The large structures that you're used to, not there. There's farms, there's gardens, there's literally like farm patches, and just small amount of towns. So like the main area around the harbor is there, but it's still not as compact as it used to be, where houses were right on top of each other. And it's just is you're getting the sense of this difference. The grove where the lizards ambassador or the embassy was, all it is forest and a grove in that area. There's minimum amount of traffic, as well as like there's the bridges, the extra bridges to get don't exist. There's only one bridge. It's the main bridge to come across. And as you start going, you notice that there's, some of the walls are there, but that's about it. The walls that protect the Saltmarsh from the other. And as you're getting there, that sense of realization of Vero, you don't know if he's alive or dead. And there is no representation, or there was no sign that he was there at the standing stones when you last. So suddenly, as you're getting into town, and the realization, that pit in your stomach, that you've been told to do something, but you don't know if you can actually complete it because you don't know what happened to him. And as you make your way down, like I said, you can see on the map, you cross the bridge. There's only a few ships in harbor. And the thing that you notice is the town is a fishing town, not the shipbuilding town that you remember. The big warehouses and shipbuilding that's along the harbor. It's not there. There's a lot more fishing ships, fishermen bringing in hauls. There's a lot more fish that kind of comes in to the Saltmarsh. And as you're going, the one glimmer of hope that you see, the cemetery's still there. There is one temple that looks familiar, and just past it, that familiar looking building that you knew as the Wicked Goat, standing by itself by where it's supposed to be, but there's barely any buildings around, when before it was just populated with buildings left. I mean, it was the amount of population, amount of buildings was just awestruck. None of it's that, half of it's not even, or a third of it isn't even there. And it's just so much just bare. But the Wicked Goat that you knew, this is new, as if it was just recently constructed. And as you're getting a little bit closer, Bryn and Glassloff, you see the sign, the beautiful carved sign that says the Wicker Goat. And
go ahead.
It looks a little bit smaller, like almost there may have been a remodel or an addition put on sometime from now until when you knew it. But it definitely, there's been some updates on some of the stuff, but there's still that sense that you get when you approach it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, Bryn has been very quiet on this trip, and she there have been times like throughout this like trek into the city that she's almost wanted to turn to Glassstock and see, like, does he see the similarities? Does he see the differences? But she knows that he does, and she would, as they pull up to the Wicker Goat, that pit in her stomach that's missing a Vero essentially is ever deepening.
Okay. Any other conversations or anything else going on from the rest of you as you're making your way? Because it's going to take you a good half hour or a little bit longer to kind of get in that. There's no traffic, but it's just, you're taking a relatively, immediate pace.
Yeah, just because of the pace.
Mm-hmm. And you're heavy down and stuff like that because you're carrying 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long have you two been around the town?
3 weeks.
You hear in your head in Talako's voice, several months.
Where do you come from, friends?
Originally,
Yes.
uh, far, far away. But the version of this town that we know uh, is much larger. Uh, this is but a shell of the town that my traveling companion and I know of it. The bridge that we crossed was probably 50 or 60 years old, if not more. And you could see the age on it, whereas the one, now it's freshly constructed. Um,
Oh.
this tavern, was an old tavern that was surrounded by buildings. As you can see, there's nothing here except for a freshly built tavern. So, when you ask where we come from, it's through, it's through time, from what we can see. We're a century or more ahead of you, and we know some of the past of this town, and but what our journey is we're trying to save its future at this point.
Oh. So the appropriate question would have been, when are you come from?
Yes, that seems to be. I couldn't even tell you if I mean, if I was to go back where my clan is from, I would probably run into my father and maybe even a younger version of me. And Bryn could probably say the same thing. If she was to go back where her family was from.
That Bryn pipes up for the first time in many minutes, and she kind of almost scoffs, and she's like, "My father would be the last one we'd want to run into."
Well,
Are you powerful wizards?
well, as you can see from my traveling companion's sharp sword and the axe and shield that I wear on my back, I wouldn't call us wizards. Although I do dabble in the arcane arts. I try not to, but I can when needed.
And I don't.
Oh. Calico here is very skilled at arcane. Well, it's not arcane, right, Calico?
You hear and this is probably like I can only talk to one person at a time. So in Goblin, you hear in your head, it's not arcane. I pull from nature and community that's around me.
Oh. Yeah. I don't say anything like that.
Bryn would say it's strange. Teleco seems to be a druid. They usually pull from nature and the surrounding areas. And
the horse lets out a like a knot.
Okay. And I just look at Brent. Do you need healing?
And I would look at Glassdock and be like, "Not anymore. Thank you."
Of course. If you need help, I can offer healing, but I would need your consent because I would need to touch you.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. I'm going to ask a strange question, and I kind of look and what are you? And because Bryn has never seen a Warforged before, and would just kind of be kind of confused by this.
Do you mean, why do I look like this?
Yeah, I suppose. And feel free to tell me to buzz off if that's a rude question. I've never seen a person like you before.
Oh, I am a forge.
Oh,
I
okay.
That's pretty much all I know. I am a forge. Created by my parents.
Okay. Well, most of us were, I guess. It's not that odd. And Bryn would smile kind of politely.
Do you like animals?
I guess.
I like him too.
Oh my god. It's adorable. Good. And Bryn would kind of like at this point sort of almost she's not up for conversation right now. It has been a very big day.
Got it.
And she just sort of like nods and then turns back to the face front on the horse.
So with the rain, it's starting to subside a little bit as you're making your way closer to the wicker goat. And as you're getting and as you get to the entrance, you can hear music coming from inside. There's the familiar sounds of a tavern. And the familiar smells that with some unique new like some new smells that are like fresher and more pastry that you can smell that you haven't smelled before coming from this location. But yeah, and so you're on the outside, and what would you like to do?
As we start to approach, I will kind of deposit them back. So I'll shapeshift again, kind of depositing everybody behind me. And as I'm about to head in, I'll undo the jacket and kind of just like knock a little bit of the rain off. And at this point, you would be able to see Talako's like underneath with the black jacket that he has. As he opens it up, it has this light blue trim that's all around it. And then he has a light blue tunic that matches that trim on underneath it as well.
Very cool.
He goes, do Cal and Una still run the wicker goat in your time? Well, does Una? Oh, that's delightful. You're in for a treat. They are fantastic, and I'm sure that they have rooms for you here if you, as you'll probably need some place to stay.
Well, and as we start to walk in, Glassstock is going to reach into his coin purse and pull out several gold and say, "The first round's on us because of your help getting us back here."
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take up the second round then. Head in too early.
Yes. And that's when Glassstock leans over to Bryn and said, "Oh, they're in for a treat. They're only talking 2 rounds."
So the interesting thing as the door opens, Glassstock and Bryn, you recognize the feeling of the wicked goat, but again, it's the wicker goat. Everything is very, very similar. The chairs, the tables, they look very similar, and the layout of the main room is very similar. As you look over where that large full-scale painting was when you first of the Legends of Saltmarsh isn't there. Actually, let me rephrase that. It's not there. It's actually being measured out as if something's going to be put in that section.
Oh man.
And then you recognize that the bar is there, and there's quite a few people here and stuff like that. And behind the bar and the main that you turn around, there's this nice large 6-foot human. You would swear, very kind of muscular, very good, like physically helped. You would swear he's in his 50s, but his face looks like he's in his 70s with the great little gray hair. And he's like, "Welcome! Hello, welcome, friend. Goblin! Delco, you brought new friends. Welcome! Welcome to the Wicked Goat. I am Carl, your owner and host." And he is just this joy, is just happy, energetic, as if he's been here for 50 plus years doing the same thing, being this energetic, full-on happy person. "Welcome. We've got plenty of seats. Take a seat over here. We'll get your menus in a moment." Oh, sorry, sir. And a young lady kind of comes up and says, "Father, settle down. We've got this covered. She's like, oh, yes, I always love new people. Again, welcome to the Wicked Goat. We'll be with you in just a moment. And he just kind of sits back, and the female comes up, and she kind of says, hello and welcome. Yeah, my father welcomes you. Please. And she shows you a seat, kind of relatively. Ales tonight? We also doing dinner?
Yes,
Uh,
please.
Yes.
Ales for everyone.
Excellent. And you hear from the owner, Bridge, you forgot it. You forgot to say it. Yes, father. Welcome to the Wicked Goat. I'm so privileged to be able to serve you tonight. Thank you for joining us. I am your server, Bryn. Or, excuse me, Bridget. How can
It's
I...
like, whoa,
Yeah,
we got some time warp shit. Okay.
I am Bridget. How can I be of assistance? We were looking for ales. Is that all right, father? She's like, yes. Good job. And she's anyways, and she's got this big smile on her face. And she's in her 30s, so, and she's like, and I'm sorry, meal, food? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Four dinners, 4 L's. And if you don't mind, once the first 4 L's are out, go ahead and start the next 4 to bring out.
Understand. I'm perceptive. Do we need rooms for tonight?
Yes, please.
Yes.
1 or 2?
2.
2.
Oh, okay.
As Brandon and Glassdock just kind of look at each other. 2.
2 in unison. Yes.
I don't judge. I just confirm. I believe we have some availabilities. I will make sure and we'll be right back. And she kind of goes off, and then you notice the owner leave and just start greeting people left and just being this jovial, happy person. It's almost sickening at times because he's been there. If anyone watched Legends of the Saltmarsh, they will know that Carl has been around for 50 plus years in the same happy-go-lucky individual. And now he is the owner, not just a waiter.
That's awesome.
Great.
That is awesome.
So, what would you like to do?
So as we're sitting at the table, I'm assuming Bryn and Glassdock are on one side and Goblin and Talako are on the other side. And I don't want to say that Glassdock's sizing the two of them up, but he is.
Yep. And Bryn probably is too, but again, she's just kind of lost in thought. Her thoughts are racing. And she's kind of like when Bridge comes with the food, like she's trying to kind of be polite, and she's trying to be polite to these 2 new people who were very kind. But you see that if she's not being spoken to directly and she just kind of appears lost in thought, she almost like just kind of seems sad and exhausted.
Bryn, at this moment, as you're kind of, if you've been during the process, you're kind of wandering, something catches your eye that you never really noticed before. But you see a Harper symbol next to the painting frame.
Ooh.
And you remember the words that you were given long ago from an envelope.
Mm-hmm. Yep. May I share?
Please do.
Okay. I was told that when I saw the symbol, that it was time to make a connection and to contact the Harpers, which it has been years that Bryn has been waiting for the call. Mm-hmm. And this is pretty clearly it.
And it was the journal that she has been writing that you need to send. That's the contact. You just send the journal.
Yep. So Bryn kind of like notices this, and then sort of almost like looks away from it, like she's seeing something she wasn't supposed to see. And then her thoughts are really, really racing.
And then you races back to remember seeing the old version of the helper from Radix general store shop that brought the box to you, and he had the journal in his pocket that looked years old and burnt a little bit, and you recognize it. He had it.
Yep.
And-
So yeah, go ahead.
No, go. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Bryn would go up to the bar and she would make some excuse like she's gonna change the drink she's getting the next round or whatever. And she would ask whoever's tending the bar,
Carl's back. He's
Carl's back.
yeah, he's back.
She would say, Carl, it was
Yes, welcome. How can I help you?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, yeah. Do you happen to have any messengers that come in and out?
Oh, there's shipments all over the town. Are you trying to send a letter or something, or are you looking for
Yes,
mail or a package?
A parcel. I'm sending. It's not ready yet. I just want to know where to go for when I need to send it.
The Merchants League would be able to send some packages. I think that there's a small adventurers guild there too. If you, I could send it if you'd like to. It'd cost
That's
you maybe
fine.
a gold, but
I think I'll go myself a little later on. You wouldn't happen to have any brown butcher block paper, would you? I need
why,
something
yes,
to
I
wrap it in.
do.
And I would give him a silver and be like, fine establishment, thank you.
No problem. And at this moment, before you leave, as you're walking away, behind the bar, there's 3 books, including a blue
No,
book.
no. Carl, one more thing while we're waiting on yes, while we're waiting on our next round.
Yes.
Are those books available? Can we just read one
Oh
while
no,
we
no,
wait?
no. So those are mementos. We've carried journals and my owners, man. They're my journal, my information and stuff like that. I guests to put in. So making sure. Well, you'll be in there shortly. I need to on some of the stuff on who's actually here. And go over the rules of that we establish here, like no stealing, no major fighting, no killing on premises, and everyone's has their own space and welcomed. So
No large animals in the rooms.
Yeah, of course. Well, all right. So, well, thank you, Carl. I appreciate it.
you're quite welcome. Anything else I could do for you, please don't hesitate to come up and say hello.
I certainly won't. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
Bryn turns away from the bar and almost like rubs her cheeks from having to smile really hard for that long.
And just as one of the other daughters, because this is a family affair.
Tell me he has like 7 daughters.
He only has 3 daughters and 3 sons.
Okay.
And then he's got grandkids. There's some grandkids running around in the back as
God.
well.
Awesome.
And the thing about it is one of the other ones just gives him a glare. Like you could tell she kind of saw you and saw the interaction, and she's just like, "You are pestering the guests again." And he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm being cheerful. No, they're not gonna come back. Oh, they will come back. They always do." And it's just this interaction. She's just like, "Oh, Dad."
You're embarrassing me. God.
So,
Wow.
so while Bryn's up at the counter
Mhm.
talking and stuff, so Glassstock will turn towards Goblin and Talaco and ask, so how did the 2 of you get together?
Oh, I pretty much appear like you did in that place.
Wait. So you're from a different time also?
I don't know if time is different there, but it's certainly a different place.
It seems that the cities and towns are of the same age for Goblin as they are now. So I don't believe that he has traveled through time.
But he traveled from someplace else.
That's correct.
There's been a large number. There's been enough lightning strikes here. The strange oddities that have brought you here, that brought Goblin here, that I've been trying to investigate its source because it's concerning. Saltmarsh is it is a child ready to become a teenager. and it's ready to hit that growth spurt and the awkwardness that comes with it. And I am concerned about what may live inside of it. And these lightning bolts, the lightning, the charges, the magic that it seems to bring does not bode well for its growth. In my opinion.
Jay, we have the box, right? Or what was left of the box?
The box, yes, the box, but it is charred,
right?
And it is just absolutely destroyed.
Okay, so Glassstock's gonna lay some cards on the table here, and he's gonna put the box on the table.
At this point, Bryn would be on her way back to the table, and she'd be like, "Oh," and she would sit down, and she'd be like, and like look very concerned at Glassstock.
Salico. Oh, go ahead.
This, we believe, is a device that a man from our time was using to move within maybe time and space with your lightning strikes.
Huh. And he starts to, Talico, may I touch it? Is it safe? Is it?
Glassstock just pushes it towards him.
Okay.
We have no idea whether or not it's safe. And I look at Glassstock. Don't want to doom this poor guy.
Talico will reach out.
We've got nothing to lose at this point.
Maybe.
we already lost the bureau and the dragon, so.
Do you say that out loud?
You, man. It's fine.
Glassstock, did you just say that out loud?
Well, I said it loud enough so that Bryn would hear it.
Okay, so Goblin and Talico, you just heard him say they lost a Vero and a dragon.
Oh, here we go.
Talico doesn't.
Does Goblin say that? Or
no, that's Robo Goblin saying.
Oh, it's like, ooh, now it's getting good.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. Did you say dragon?
And Glassstock's gonna look at Bryn, and then he's gonna turn and try to wave the waitress down and hold up his hand with like 4 fingers, like bring 4 more now.
And within a moment or two, they're like literally like within seconds, they're just right on the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
You will also notice that while everybody's holding their beers, Goblin holds the whatever it is, the cup, and just holds it to his mouth, but it doesn't have a mouth. It's just it just holds him and puts it down, just mimicking everybody
really
drinking.
Cute. Oh my god.
And I just say, would you describe me the dragon, please?
And I look disgustedly at Glassstock, and then I'm like, he was a little black dragon.
And I take out a tiny notepad and start writing.
And Bryn he had tiny little horns, and he was getting bigger, and we were put in charge of him. And he had green eyes, and they were just adorable, and they would just light up when it was time for us to
Yeah, they don't want to hear all that.
Okay, let me describe him the way you would. He shit everywhere, and he was a pain in the ass, and we're glad he's probably dead.
No,
that doesn't actually solve the like. I like your description. If I wait until tomorrow, I can. Did he come with? Was he part of the lightning strike?
So okay, so
I can try to locate.
Let me explain.
The black dragon.
No. Let me sum up. Okay. So as Bryn said, we were a group of 3. Our third companion is a elvish wizard by the name of Aviro Starborn. So in the version of the town that we come from, there has been a treaty between the town and the lizard folk who live out in the swamp. And they actually have an embassy inside the town. we were put in charge of this, as Bryn said, baby dragon, because there was the future of the town depended on it. So we were protecting him. He was protecting us. I don't want to use the term pet because we
It's a
were
dragon.
we were closer. We were close to him, but he was growing at a abnormal rate, and we're not exactly sure why, but we believe it had something to do with the box we were given where he rested. It was
you
some
still
sort of
have on. You have the backpack still on.
yeah. Oh, that's right, I do. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I can gesture to the backpack and I say I can show you how it works when we're in a more private location. But anyway, there was an alchemist who took a keen interest in the dragon, and he captured the dragon. When we went to go rescue him, that's when there was a huge lightning strike, and the alchemist and the dragon and our friend Vero all disappeared, and we ended up here. So we want to try to find all three of them, obviously for various reasons. But we're not entirely sure if the three of them transported to this actual time or not. But we are pretty confident that this device has something to do with that.
Well, I can try to see tomorrow if I can find the dragon. If it's, are there any, and he'll start picking up the box and he starts looking at it. He goes, are there any objects or things? Finding and tracking things and people is what I do. If there's something that is significant, I might be able to, I can try to assist as best I can. And he's looking at the box and really trying to look it over and inspect it, try to see if he recognizes anything.
The box looks very strange. It looks like there is, it's metal, but it almost looks like there was pieces of like magical, like a wall of force or something like that that was in, and then there was something inside, but it's melted. Like it's charred and melted inside. The metal has been melted. There seems to be some gears and maybe a lever or a button, things of that nature. And then there's a nozzle, like, and it almost as if it was something, the device sucked in something and you're not sure exactly what. And then it powered, it was a power source of something. And I'm giving you this for free, even though I should have had you roll, but but it's so charred. It's unknown. And there is no way to even contemplate how to put this back. There's no way to figure out how this worked because half of it is just like completely destroyed, disintegrated, and gone. Unless there's a manual somewhere and that can be rebuilt, you might be able to do something.
Since Talako, since you've been here in the town for some time, have there been any dragon sightings in the area, specifically a black dragon?
Don't think so. No. Right? As I look at our GMJ.
Who are you looking
as
at?
you look up in the sky
And the GM is looking
dragon sightings.
And the GM is looking at Goblin.
I have not seen any dragons since I have arrived. I am aware of the tribe of lizard folk, but there's not a peace with them, and that's a different civilization and community to growth and birth. Growth and mature after Saltmarsh.
There's no peace treaty between the lizard folk right now.
Right. Like that's the Goblin. Have you? I know there are times that I'm I am distracted. Have you seen any dragons that you didn't point out?
Have I seen dragons here?
I'm trying to remember who had the information about the dragons. I thought you had heard stories or encountered.
Well, let me check my envelope. Oh no, wait, I can't yet.
Not yet,
Oh.
no.
Well, I've seen dragons before. And
Yeah.
Before when I. Well,
But I thought there was some information about. You've both heard that there are black dragons in the swamp, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I know stories of the black dragon, but I have not seen
Yep.
one myself.
that's correct. Okay.
Okay.
So yes,
So there is like stories about them. in
there's
the area.
multiple black
Oh.
dragons.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
yes, there's
Right.
several black dragons. They seem to be very fond of swamps.
Yes. Well, during our time, there was one rather large one that was known in the town, whereas the little one that we were protecting wasn't supposedly known, but somehow this alchemist found out about it. And
The larger one was its dragon daddy,
yes,
supposedly.
that is adorable. Does it look like this? And I hold a picture of a tiny baby dragon that is chibi form.
It looks exactly like Rocky, and Bryn's eyes would just light up, and for just a second, you would maybe see that it looks like Bryn's going to start crying, and then she goes, "Yeah, that looks that looks a lot like him."
Let me put it away. I enjoy drawing animals.
Dude.
Would you like to see more animals? This is something new, by the way, Jay. Sorry.
No, this is
I'm
perfect.
discovering my character.
That
This is
all
adorable.
please continue.
This is the best.
And I just hold in, and there's crocodiles, bees. There's also like this tiny fairy kind of dragon.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And would he be flipping through, or would he have handed
Yeah.
this to Bryn to flip through?
I just hold it to you and just flip it over.
I'm just like looking at these. I'm like, these are very, very good.
Thank you.
And Bryn would smile and kind of at this point of the night, we've been here for a while. We've been talking for a while, and Bryn would kind of like finish her drink, and then she would stand up. She'd be like, if you all don't mind, I think I'm going to walk around for a little while. I think the rain stopped, and I would like to familiarize myself with the town as it is. And I kind of nod at Glassdock, and Bryn would say, if I'm not back by morning, assume I'm dead and move on with your lives. It was very nice to meet you.
We'll find you. And he holds out a copper and says, "Here, take this."
Thank you, but I have my own money.
When you look at it, you see that there's several scratches that form a pattern. If you don't know Arcana, then you probably don't recognize what the pattern is, but there's very distinct pattern, like a very distinct pattern that's carved into it. Because if you do disappear, I can use that to find you.
All right. Well, thank you.
Before you leave, can I get a perception check from everyone, please?
Perception is the thing that I do. Here we go.
hot, Jay. 22.
Wow!
Wow.
Season 2!
Wow! I got a 15.
All right.
I'm terrible.
No,
21.
everyone, that is good. Okay, so some of the things that Glassdock you pick up, as well as Bryn, you do pick up this, is that the Wicker Goat, there is a lot of stuff here, and it's a patron. There's some music being played, people, it's a busy, but there are a few things that you pick up. Like, one of the tables, you see a dwarf and appears to be a half orc. Very, they're wearing like hide armor and, the bones and claws of different animals on them. Very barbarian-ish type drinking and jovialing and having clearly adventurers. But the interesting thing is that the dwarf looks slightly familiar, but not really. And what gets you is the axes. Their axes are like sitting cross, and they're basically propped up, and there's a few of them, and you can hear them, "To the great axes! Yeah, the best adventuring party around!" And you realize that the dwarf is young. And you vaguely remember the Company of Axes, which is an adventuring party. That dwarf looks very freaking familiar.
Is it Radek?
No, it is not
Oh.
Radek. But as you look over right next to them, there is another dwarf with several, like 6 to 8 tankards in front. The head is down, and these long hair, scruffy, just not kept at all. And you hear this, "Another one now!" And the voice pierces you, Glassdock, as the copper locks of her hair can be seen, as this is Marstrad
Oh God.
in youth, drunk, and just out of sorts. And you remember stories that she lost her way when the mining company went down in Saltmarsh, and she was a drunk during that time.
hmm
And your uncle helped out to move them to different locations.
Okay.
But you recognize that it is Maelstrom, younger, but just disheveled and just a drunk. The other thing is, you notice Carl is all jovial and happy, and he walks past you, Bryn, and goes to the corner. This is a dark corner where the light is not shining very well, and you almost didn't see the small little table that was there. And it was one of those things where if you walked past it, you wouldn't realize that the dark cloaked figure sitting there.
Aragorn. All right.
And Carl comes up, Carl, the owner comes up all jovial with a plate of raw meat, bloodied raw meat, and sets it down with a cup. And he's like, "It's good to see you. It's good to see you, my friend. It's so on the house as you enjoy. Oh, come talk to me later." Yes. And it's late, and he kind of walks away, and you see him grab this dark figure, grab the steak and wring it out and let the blood go into the tankard. And just sits there by himself, just kind of drinking. As some of the other patrons are in here jovial, there's a bard playing, but it's a fun and happy place. And Carl's just all happy seeing it and walks away and then greets some more people as she kind of continues
Well, it
on.
was a fun and happy place, Jane. So you told us about the vampire in the
Listen,
corner.
he's not bothering anybody.
Carl
Bryn
was happy to see him, and all jovial is happy.
Bryn would kind of like on her way out the door almost kind of she does her best not to be fazed by this kind of thing, but her stride does slow half a step, and she kind of looks at this guy, and whether he sees it, that is obviously up to him, but then she kind of just continues on out the door.
Okay. And then as you get out the door, the one thing, Bryn, you almost trip over is that there is a drunk just outside, just sitting there, just in the rain, kind of with a cloak over him. But the unusual, he's an elf. And he's drunk, and he's just kind of sitting there, and he kind of puts up his hand. It's like, "Copper to save the drinks. forgot what to say. And the thing that you notice as his arm comes up, he's wearing fine clothing. Like under the cloak, there's this premier nobleman's clothing, but it looks worn, like slightly. Like it's been maybe 10 or 20 years he's been wearing the same jacket, and so it's a little tattered, but not too bad.
So Bryn would look at him and kind of, as she's sort of like pulling her cloak and her hood up to go out into the rain, she kind of says to this guy, it's like, your clothes would imply you don't need a cover from me, friend.
No, I did. No. He kind of, no, I past hard times. The drink to pass the hard times.
And Bryn would, go ahead.
And then it connects. You realize that the drunk looks like the elf of the same clothing in the same city that's been touring the city. He is the city elven drunken prince.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. So Bryn would kind of like make this realization again and kind of like shake her head and just sigh, and she would actually flick him a silver.
Oh, bless you, lady, my lady, bless you. And he just kind of sits there, and he's just,
And she would kind of like pull her cloak a little tighter around her, and she would start to make her way off to the Messengers Guild.
Okay, it's a little bit late, but as you kind of go, you're going to notice on the map, the wonderful map.
Find the map.
Find the map. I'm, of course, wait. It is going to be number 22 on the map.
Okay.
So 22. So it's not too far away, but it's, about right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining. You get a little bit of more lay of the land and things of that nature. It's late, and surprisingly, the main office isn't open, but there's still an adventurer's, like a small little office that is open. Like the doors are open, but the main place isn't open. But it gives you the hours of potential that you can come back, and gives you the prices of what you can, how much to cost for. What you can do. And at this place you can book passage. You can, there's a lot of stuff that you can do here. So go ahead.
Bryn would sit somewhere, if there's like a bench somewhere, and we would just see her scribbling something into her journal. And then would kind of like, for a while she'd be kind of writing, and then snap it shut kind of with a finality, and then start to look at when the Merchants Guild opens and what are the prices and stuff like that.
It's going to be probably 5 silver to send it to Boulder's Gate or Waterdeep. I can't remember.
Waterdeep.
It'll send it about 5 silver.
No, I guess it probably to Burdusk. So like the original, like the home.
Yeah. So it'll probably be about 5 silver to be able to send it, and they'll open up 8 a.m. more or less in the morning.
So Bryn would kind of like see this, and she would the quill that she's been writing with this whole time that Aviro gave her, she would, on this last page, she would kind of like flip it back open, and she would put the quill in there, and she would close it in the journal, and then while she's standing here and while she's dry, she would actually like wrap it all up here in the butcher block paper and just plain string.
Okay.
And then she would take the whole thing and go back to the wickered goat.
Okay. While that's happening, what's the rest of you doing?
Drinking.
Making sure that Glasstalk has enough to drink.
Yeah.
So tell me where. So tell me where. Well, not where. Tell me more about your friend that's gone. I'm curious about your friend who's gone missing. Until you know more, I would assume that he's missing. Just perhaps lost in time.
Vero is he's a special soul. Um, he's a very he's even more studious than your typical wizard. Like if we couldn't get him out of the town, he would spend all of his time in the library. He loves poring over books. He loves studying things. He was actually studying the dragon. He's I hate to use the word curious because I believe as one of his race, this is not uncommon, where it is not so common within mine, but he knows the mystical and the arcane very, very well. He's studied it for a long, long time. He's not as, let's say, as proficient in some of the more combat-related spells as we would have hoped at times, but he finds useful uses for the spells that he does have.
Were they a gnome?
No, he's a high elf.
Oh. I
Does
don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Does he have specific? Does he carry a tome on his side that's always visible? Does he have any sort of jewelry that
He has a
always
hat
carry?
that he loves very, very much.
And
Can you and Talako, like, he wants to inquire about the hat. I don't know that we necessarily want to play the game of please describe in great detail the hat. Talako wants to know in great detail about the hat, though.
It's rather pointy and has symbols on it, and he was quite excited to get a hold of it, and it was his pride and joy, with the exception of one of the quills that he had that I believe, as he said, his mother gave him for writing stuff down in his book. But to answer your question about, yes, he did have a spell book that he kept with him. But he had a number of books where he was constantly producing them at the, I hate to say oddest times, but actually the most opportune times when we needed to research something. All of a sudden he would have a book and, be able to pull up information that we needed. He was a wealth of knowledge of many subjects.
Sounds like a fascinating individual. And this entire time, like, Talako has been taking notes. Specifically, if you look at the notes that he's taking, it seems less about the people and more about either behaviors or like traits.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about him being studious, like, okay, he's studious. Like, you tell him that that you said high elf, and like no notes taken, like don't care.
Right.
You describe the hat in the books, and he starts writing everything down like as verbatim as possible.
And Glassstock, something rings in your that. Remember, a Vero's like bath. He has to have his bath.
Oh,
and tea.
yeah.
And the thing is, you haven't checked if there's a bath or a tea here.
Yeah, that's true. He does like his tea, and he's very fond of his baths. So,
there is one bath upstairs.
Okay, yeah.
There's if he likes his bath, this is the only non-private one that's in the city, that's in the town that he would be able to use.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps if we run some warm water every night, it will summon him.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
I have a question. Does anyone need to, during the conversations, would someone have gone to the loo or the bathroom or the restroom or the at any time during this several hours of drinking?
I would assume so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So the interesting thing is when you go to the private stalls, on the back of the door, there is a painting of just something that just says "Adventurers Wanted," and another one has just this beautiful outline, and you see the signature of AG, and then one of them is crossed out, and it says "Property of Muse." And intellectual rights of Muse, and then there's this AG, and it's one of those things where AG is a famous painter that did wall art in bathrooms,
Okay.
and he also did the Legends of Saltmarsh painting that you remember.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
and
right.
he is the famous, ultra famous painter in the city. He's just a somewhat famous here, and this is how he made his money, by little arts, pictures
Little art.
in the stalls.
Oh my gosh.
Little arts.
That's awesome.
So please continue. You're going.
Yeah.
I'm dropping some spoilers and just connections left and
it's
right.
fun. You've been
Episode
waiting
1.
for this for a while.
Oh yeah.
I'll just say, Talaco here is very skilled at finding people. You can trust Talaco with finding your friend.
That would be most appreciated.
I'll do my best.
Are you adventurers?
Yes, we're our version of the town. The Adventurers Guild was rather large, and we were members of it.
What was your group name?
We're the Natural Ones.
Natural ones.
Those called to destiny. I like it.
Yeah, something like that.
At this time, Bryn would burst back in the door and be like, "Glassdock, the Adventurers Guild is itty bitty, and the Messengers Guild isn't open. Are we still drinking?"
Yes, we're still drinking.
Good.
It'll take quite a while for it to grow to what you've come to expect. But perhaps I'll prepare better to study this. Do you want to hold on to it since it is yours? Is it okay if I keep it and I can study in the morning?
Let him keep it, Glassdock. What good is it?
Exactly. I'm going to trust you, friend, with it. Right now, it is our only link to our past and our future. So you seem trustworthy. I mean, you took the two of us in sight unseen. Well, I mean, you saw us hiding in the bushes, but
it does help that Bryn did not immediately try to kill me. That's a good way to make friends, is to not
kill
sight.
To be fair, we had just gotten done with a rather long and extensive fight with the Alchemist, so I'm not sure we were 100%, and we weren't looking for a fight unless we absolutely had to.
First thing I saw was this guy, and I would actually like knock on Goblin, and I imagine it goes kong, kong, kong.
Kong.
And I'm like, so hence my reaction. I'm sorry, I was a little bit of a brute.
Oh, your reaction was fine. The follow through is what I appreciate. Or the lack of follow through? The lack of follow through.
The lack of follow through. And yeah, I keep drinking.
I don't understand why are they called natural ones, because there are 2 people here and they're missing 1. So there's 3 people. I say that to Talaco.
Oh, well, they're the natural ones being plural, so it's several ones together.
Oh, plural. Got it.
Not the natural one, the natural ones.
Oh. So are you here to change something in this time so it's better in the other time?
Aleko has a moment of panic that comes over his face. Are you?
We didn't choose to come to this time. We were brought here, sent here by accident.
Oh, now that you mention it, there are a couple of things. Have you ever heard of a man named Ambermead, a boy named Ambermead, a family named Ambermead?
Nope.
No, they probably have not moved into the town yet, but as I've said, it is preparing for rapid growth.
We have not. Yes.
And Bryn would kind of shrug and be like, "No, we're not here to change anything. We're not here.
If anything,
We're here by accident."
Yeah, we don't want to change anything. I mean, we know of some things that we might want to change, but things have happened for a reason, and we wouldn't want to necessarily disrupt. Like, as I said, the lizard folk have a truce with the town and they have an embassy in here. And we wouldn't want to jeopardize that in any way, shape, or form.
I am curious to see how that story unfolds, and I don't want the answer, but I'm curious if I get to be part of that as a group.
And I'm going to say, Robo and Talico, that right now, there's a lot of there's a little bit of not hatred. It's scared of the lizard folk. They're monsters. The city is considering them monsters, and there's always a fear that they're going to attack the city. So they know that they're out in the swamp, but they're like, they attack each other on semi-regular basis.
That's very curious because at this point, I don't see how that would be possible, but I guess it will change in the other time.
Well, over the years that have passed, it's anything is possible as things grow. Communities can grow together, they can grow apart. I am glad to hear that a civil war doesn't break out due to Saltmarsh's rapid growth and potential disagreement amongst the multiple leaders.
And Bryn's getting kind of quiet again. Her mind is just kind of racing with the possibilities of messing with stuff in the past.
Is there any information as far as what could be done about this alchemist? I'm upon your arrival, I'm not concerned about you tampering with time or things, but the alchemist sounds like a problem.
Yeah, because he's managed to build this device once. What's to keep him from building it again? And if he is somewhere in this time with us, which that's what Bryn and I are hoping, and our friend is somewhere here also, finding him and keeping him from creating problems within the time would be a smart move on all of our behalves. The town is thriving when we, from the time period that we are, it's growing. It's very large. Shipbuilding industry, a lot of travel through the town. It's a full-blown city, for lack of a better term. And to jeopardize that is not something that we want to do.
I'm going to say, Bryn and Glassstock, you do recall, thinking about it, he traveled back and forth multiple times. Mm-hmm. To when and where, you're not sure, but it's very evident that he used the device multiple times.
Well, right. And we had heard stories of lightning striking out on that
on the island,
island,
mm-hmm.
like a lot. Yeah. Yep. So like he's been,
which just busy. Basically helps substantiate Talico's curiosity about it. So, well, at this point, Glassstock's actually kind of beat up because of the fight. I'm all out of spell slots. I used all my high level spells in the fight.
Thank you again for the healing.
um, if you gentlemen don't mind, I think my compatriot and I would like to check into our rooms and rest, and perhaps we can begin our search in the morning.
Of course, I will be down at sunrise to begin to do what I can, and whenever rest as long as you need. I will. You will find me as once you awaken, or we'll find each other somehow once you awaken.
Yeah.
I would call over to Carl and I would say, Carl, is there any way I could get a bath?
Yes. Lise, please, is the bath ready? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. She'll take care of you. No problem. Welcome. Yes, we'll be right there. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, gracious. Anyways, yes, she'll take you right up. Give it about 5-10 minutes and it'll be nice and steamy, warm for you. Bubbles or non-bubbles?
No bubbles.
No problem. Lise, no bubbles. And then he goes back to, making, yes, welcome, thank you. And every time someone new comes in, you've noticed, he gets this, hello and welcome to the Wicker Goat. I'm so, thank you for coming. Yes, please have a seat. And he is just
constant.
I love his energy.
He's 70 plus years old.
Bro.
But he is fit. And he is just full. He's got good genes or something because he looks like he's 50 and muscular and just full of energy. He's just that happy person. I mean, take Ted Lasso and like some good bodybuilder and medium size and just combine them together of happiness.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like if Ted Lasso and Jason Momoa had a baby, it would be this guy.
Yes.
Got it.
But a little bit smaller than Mimosa. More like Jason Ackles. Jason Ackles.
Okay, Jason Ackles.
Jason Ackles and Ted Lasso combined is kind of what. And then the one thing that you notice later on, you have his wife come out. And with the grandchildren of his daughters. And they're coming in, and the presence you notice when she walks in. She's this beautiful, very gorgeous, blonde-haired female human, but everyone in the bar stops and pauses for a second as she kind of comes in with the children, and everyone smiles as her presence radiates happiness. And just this calming effect upon everyone.
Oh, that's why he's so freaking.
And she's like, and everyone's like, oh no, hello. Oh yeah, hi. And she's just very, very, and she's like, are you doing pastries in the mornings? But of course, they'll be fresh morning. And she comes up to her daughter and exchange, because one of them's getting off of work at the time and does the love of, hugs her grandchildren. And it's like, nah. And, some of them are a little bit older. Some of them are a little bit younger. And kisses her daughter, and it's just beautiful daughter. She's like, yep, see you. And one of them leaves, but the other one continues working. And she comes up and gives Carl a kiss on the cheek and a smile. And he just gets this big smile. It's like, thank you, dear. I'll be closing probably a little bit later. Don't wait up. And she just smiles. It's no problem, dear. And she kind of goes up, and he just kind of pauses for a second and just and smiles to himself. And just that joy of he's been blessed. And then comes up, hey, and then just lets the energy continue.
Amazing.
Aww. That's so cute.
So yeah, the bath is ready for you. Glassstock, the room is ready for you. Goblin and Talico, your rooms are already there.
Before we go to sleep, I'll just say to Talico, was I talking a lot today?
No. I feel like you could have, if you're trying to talk and engage in conversation, you perhaps could have talked a little bit more, but I feel like you talked the right amount. Our new friends were very tired and did not want to talk a lot.
Oh,
I'll say that you talked the right amount.
okay. That is good to know. I just get nervous with new people, and I just tend to talk. I don't control that talking.
You did not talk too much. I will make a note that if I feel like you are talking too much, that I will let you know without sharing it with everybody.
Appreciate that.
But
Thank you, Calico.
of course, I always enjoy your conversations. I not ever consider you talking to.
And I enjoy your conversations.
God,
So
I'm in love. I love them both.
speaking of conversations, before memories fade, I would like to go talk with the plants around the island. Do you wish to go with me?
Yes, please. Yes, I would like to go.
So we're going to head back to the island
Okay.
um, at a slower pace because I'm not going to turn into a horse again
Mhm.
and gallop all the way up there. But we're once we're up there, I am going to cast get to where I feel like they kind of came from, where I saw Bryn and Glasstalk like duck and hide. And I'm going to cast Speak with Plants.
Okay.
Which is a 30-foot radius from where I'm centered at, and allows grants limited sentience and animation to plants, but specifically gives them the ability to communicate with me and follow simple commands.
Yep.
I don't care about the simple commands outside of just asking them the plants, and the plants can only communicate what they've seen in the past day.
Okay. Got it. What do you ask?
So yeah. Were there what did you see before the lightning bolt that came in? Were there other people or creatures like a dragon that came through?
Not see, no eyes. Felt nothing but rain all day. One druid visit earlier. Rain felt. Wind felt. Lightning like felt. Strange portal. Straight, no, not portal. Strange feeling. Fey.
Fae, like the Fae realm, like fairies and those types of things?
Sometimes different feelings. And you've communicated with them before. I'm assuming in those areas. So you've had that, and the rain, the weather, and people. Some people come up and visit. Not too many people really, but this is and remind me, is this the first time? This is the first time you were actually on site to be able to see the lightning.
Yep.
So you've talked to them, but they've never seen the feeling. But you've gotten a sense that there's something here, that there is a connection to the Fae somewhere here as well. But you don't know. They know of the Fae because there is some connection from the island to the Fae realm, but it's different. Like I said, it's almost as if there's a potential portal with your investigation of the Fae, and then there's something else. And it's like the stones are something else. Much, much older and much different connected, deep connected, past to their roots.
like primal connection,
Very much so.
like ancient.
Yeah.
I Goblin, while I have them here, is there anything that you would ask the plants? I don't know that I've ever made the offer for you to ask, and
Oh, do they like bees?
I asked the plants, "Do you like bees?"
The flowers say yes.
Robo, I love you.
Oh my god! Oh yes, like immediately. Funnily enough, I have a lot of questions for the plant. Oh my god. Oh.
Oh, this is. Thank you. This is just.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, this is the group. This is a
Do
group.
they like bees?
The
Don't
flowers, the
understand.
flowers, the flowers love the bees.
They do like bees. I
Yes.
do like bees too. I just say to the flowers.
I will just go ahead and communicate that like in this weird Sylvan Druidic language, like
Oh,
that I'm
yeah.
speaking with the plants. I will repeat the
Mhm.
he likes bees as well.
I was gonna ask, how do you talk to the plants? Like,
Yeah, you hear me like it's a weird. So to me, the way that whenever I'm speaking with the plants and animals, like it is a combination of several like chitterings and hisses. Like it sounds like several smaller animals, like kind of all made a language together, and it's very much so. It's like this, like rushed whispering with hisses and like weird clicks in the middle of it, just all like rapid fire. And then it just like stop and like you hear and you can't hear them respond, but I'm
Okay.
obviously hearing something.
got it. All right. I do like bees too. Thank you. Have a good night.
And I'll tell the plants to have a good night. Do they say
Good night.
Yes.
and we'll head back down.
Okay. The evening comes. You get to your rooms. The bath has been enjoyed. There's some more paintings of different things, of different scenes and things of that nature. I mean, if you've been to a sports bar, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this is how the artist made his money and part of his fame, which was introduced by the Legends of Saltmarsh group. Which,
Incredible.
That's
It's canon.
it's canon. Oh, it is canon. You check out the VODs because those are good. So you have a good night's sleep, and Bryn and Glassstock, you realize that the beds feel just a little bit more comfortable as they're
Well, they're not
They're
100
new.
years old.
Yeah,
now,
you know.
and the thing is, they probably I mean, every few years, like every century, like 30 years, they put new beds in and stuff like
This
that.
is a new cycle, though,
Yeah,
even for
this is a new
timeline.
cycle. That
Yeah.
you've been so the frames and everything else, and but the thing that you realize too is there's not as many rooms. It's like you realize that it's a little bit smaller. And clearly there was an addition done sometime in the future. So they've maybe about 2/3 of the same amount of rooms that they have.
Okay.
But some of the rooms you actually probably get, we're going to say you get one of the same rooms that you got before. And the different artwork, different things. I mean, it's very similar, but again, it's different. There's a different style, and it's just very old.
Well, that's because there's no dragon poop in the corner, Jay.
Yeah. Brynwood, I imagine that after her bath, she gets up to her room and it's the same kind of like the same room, but the furniture is different. And at whatever o'clock, late o'clock at night, Bryn is rearranging furniture in the room to make it like it was, and then would go to sleep.
And the sheets and the bedding is top notch. Like I mean, this like what you're used to is this is top notch. Like they put a lot of money and everyone's just this is the reason why the wicker goat is been around since the beginning, because it's the long stay because of how it's been established.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Everyone goes to sleep and has a good night. I need Glassstock and Bryn to roll me a d20, please.
Each?
Each, just a d20.
Okay.
Good luck.
No, I have to go to California immediately, and we have to both be touching it at the same time. Okay. I got an
15.
8.
15
8.
and an 8. Okay. Bryn, we're going to start with Glassstock. So Glassstock...
Okay, that's fine. That's a pump fake.
Yep, that was Glassstock. So as you get to sleep and you're feeling more comfortable, your mind starts to remember certain things, and you get into a dream state of your sleeping, and you're remembering Vero comes into play, and his nature, and remembering the first battle in the mines, and remembering that the dwarven mine, is it still abandoned now, or must have just happened. And then you're remembering your uncle, and you're remembering as a boy and the stories of meeting Copperlocks, and you're remembering Hendrik Copperlocks, and you're remembering just things. And then, like I said, Avero's voice, you feel as if he's next to you, and you're just all the three of you when you started the adventuring in the cart past the zombies, and it all kind of floods back to you for a second, and and then you dream of being in your home as a child and remembering your home and the warmth of the bed and your family, and you, for a moment or two, you feel like you're there, and you're remembering a dream, and as if it was a memory that you're going through. And for a second, you actually felt like you were, because how old would you be right now? So you're about like 20.
Yeah. So this is how many years in our past?
It is 100 years in the past.
Oh, I may not even have been born yet.
No, because you were 100 and something, weren't you?
Hold on.
No, you were only 70, weren't you?
Yeah, 78.
Yeah, you're not born yet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even born yet.
So yeah, some of that stuff doesn't, it filters in, but it doesn't filter in. You remembering, but it's just the sense of that is all there. And then remembering thing, and you just remember a Vero disappearing in that shimmery predator on invisibility.
Oh no, I'm actually 55.
You're only 55 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
He's a baby.
You're just a baby then, yeah. But you remember a Vero just disappearing, and that sinking feeling of where could he be? And there's there's no signs of him up here, because I'm assuming you would have taken a little bit of time to see if he may have checked in or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if there's no signs of him in the bath, then he hasn't been here.
No, there's no signs of him here.
Yeah.
And
plus if Talakos and Goblin have been here with the description I gave, there's no way they wouldn't have recognized him.
And that's the thing. No one has seen this pompous, just clean slate. Always, no one's nothing. You haven't. But again, you need to go investigate. That's one of there might be something. But offhand, even Carl. Nope. Carl's never seen someone like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you have you get a good night's sleep, but again, you worry, and then the Alchemist comes into play. and you're just remembering his laughter and his monologuing, and he's just there, and just, you know, that laughter of beating you at your own, and just when, and just that monologue of "come get me,"
Mm-hmm.
and then you wake up, no problem, in the morning. Bryn, similar. Your thoughts come back because you're still young too. You're not.
I think she's 26.
You're not born yet. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not
in this time.
Not this time. So your dreams come in, but now the overwhelming senses start to overload the blue book. You start recognizing a lot more, and the book comes alive, and names start flying around it, and you see Avero holding the blue book. I'm in the book. And then then he just melts like he's away. And then the alchemist stands there. It's like, ha, 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 and is giving that monologuing. And then the picture of Rocky being restrained, and the voice of the alchemist being ha, 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 changing. And then it's the harper, the pin, the old 50, 60-year-old man who sacrificed himself and gave you the message to send you back to where you're going. And just that familiarness of something familiar about him, and just that, and your mind goes to back to Rocky, and back to just the early days, and the Saltmarsh, and then the group together, the three of you. And is that ever going to, when is that going to come back? Is that going to come back? And questions and stuff like that. I need you, please, to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Why do I have to do this and Jim didn't?
Because you rolled an 8.
Rolled higher.
Okay. 14.
All right. You are not exhausted in the morning after a not as restful sleep if you would have liked. It's going to take you, there's so much stuff that happened in the last, and you're bombarded by so many things being seen, the Harpers, the Blue Book, things, and just Saltmarsh in general, Avero being gone, and specifically Rocky, that worry of Rocky. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he still with the alchemist? Did he escape? All that stuff is weighing on your mind, but you were able to get enough sleep that you are not exhausted, and all the nightmares that you had that night.
Hey, Jay, can I ask a stupid question?
Yeah.
Are we still worried about bananas?
No, I don't think so. We're gonna test it. So I don't think we're good.
Okay.
We should be fine. So,
all right.
But thank you. That for those of you that don't, oh, dang it, you jinxed it. Wow.
Wow.
We lost coverage for a second. Sorry about that, everyone. We literally just lost, just as you said that.
What?
I'm not
He's got
kidding you.
powers, man. A witch.
I am not kidding you. I literally turned over and checked something, and we froze for a second.
That's remarkable.
But it looks like we lost and we're back on.
Okay.
But we lost all our viewers for whatever reasons. Maybe. I don't know. So we'll see.
Thanks a lot, Hawkmere.
Yeah. Way to go.
Way to go.
If people were already watching, they're already back. You just have the ads that are the pre-roll ads are rolling.
Excellent. All right. So needless to say,
everybody's back.
All right. Awesome.
No more ads.
Thank you. So. Wow.
Boy, that was a bad dream. Thank God I don't have any exhaustion.
Yep. So yeah,
I'll have to explain the bananas thing later.
Yeah, there's an entertainment on that one. So it's a code word that we use because I have some OBS issues, and you know what? Yep, it kicked in. So that's exactly
remarkable.
That's exactly what we needed. So yep.
And now Jim doesn't need to explain it.
Nope. So something's wrong with my OBS, and at 10 o'clock, I lose connection. I'm just trying to figure it out, but not all Wednesdays at 10 o'clock, but some Wednesdays it just clocks out, and it's a funky thing. So, but needless to say, the next morning comes in, who gets up early? All right.
Well, apparently Talako gets up at the crack of dawn, so
Yep.
I want to be at the Messengers Guild by 8.
Okay, so it's early. Breakfast is there. Carl's up, greeting everyone.
Carl's up.
He's up. He's like, welcome, good morning, breakfast time. Yes. And
Yes.
his son, who's the waiter now, is in the morning shift, comes in, and he's like, yes. Welcome. Breakfast for you all. I believe the house specials, or is there anything special, or do you like pancakes or something else like that? Side of beef bacon and some pork, or what would you like?
Whatever you have prepared.
Yes. Morning juice or teas, or what would you like?
I'll have some coffee.
Coffee. I think. Yes, we've got some of that. Yes. Freshly brewed. Yes, of course. Yes. And
Just some hot tea for me to drink.
excellent. Goblin, the usual.
Yes.
And by this time, the usual is probably something maybe organic. I don't know what Goblin eats.
Goblin doesn't eat, but
Okay.
he mimics.
But he
just-
politely orders food
So
every time.
So basically, what they do,
he orders soup and just starts puts
they
it to his
they
mouth.
give you. It looks like half. They give you a full plate of different things and glasses, but like there's nothing in it, or it's just fake looking, just to make you feel like you're a part of it.
Oh.
that's nice.
You know,
That's
so
nice.
that it
That's
looks
nice.
like you're part of eating and everything else. They definitely go out of the way to make you feel comfortable.
It's
in
about
that.
the event.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
very much so.
Really cute.
Now the thing too is, so this is the waiter, very beautiful man, very muscular. He could have been an adventurer, probably was at one time. He's a waiter. He's you can see he's married. He's definitely part of the family business here. And one of the things that as you come down, you smell the sweet pastries, the overwhelming wafting of pastries, and you knew Ono is making homemade pastries.
Oh my God.
And what you know is that her family started the pastry shop in town, and that's how she would always bring in pastries
Oh.
to the Wicked Goat, and that's how Carl and her kind of met and fell in love and everything. And the happiest moment of his beginning was when she would drop off the pastries in the morning, and he gets to see his beloved in the morning. But she now makes them, and they have a special pastries here in the morning for breakfast, and you can smell, and they are delicious, and they're with love, and just something about them, it just makes everyone enjoy and happy.
Aww.
Aw.
Yes. So the morning comes, you're starting to eat. It's going to be an hour or so before the place opens up. Glassstock, you eventually come downstairs.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do as food's getting delivered?
As I'm coming down, I'm going to roll out a piece of hide that has druidic runes around it, and I'm going to use it to cast detect magic on this thing and start trying to analyze. Recognizing if there's no active magic on it, it's going to return nothing.
And that's
It's a ritual.
Yep.
It's a ritual, and it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do it.
Nothing. There's no magic
Okay.
left whatsoever. It is a husk of just burnt, device of some sort of unknown origins. But the one thing I'll say is that there are some unique metals that is not common, but it's just weird. It's weird, and you're not sure where it came from. Maybe Waterdeep, maybe some of the more popular cities, but yeah, or Avernus. Who knows?
I will ask Carl, like after I spend the 10 minutes to
Mhm.
cast that and the 6 seconds it takes to go, well, that was a fun use of 10 minutes. I'll turn to Carl and go, hey, do you know anybody is there anybody here yet that makes these sort of contraptions? and like I'll point to like gears and stuff inside it. Like the gears, like it seems like it's like an alchemist type thing. Do we? Is there an alchemist here in town that I just don't know of?
Not we haven't had an alchemist here in town for 20 plus years. The old man, the Malisker house, that was the alchemist, but he's been missing for 20 plus years, and no, closest alchemist would probably be Split Rock by any means, possibly, but yeah, I don't know. You might want to check with the blacksmith. They might have some information on how to. And actually, with a smile, sorry, he's like, maybe the blacksmith might have something to do with that as well. Because, but offhand, I can't think of anything right now. Oh, I'm sorry I couldn't be of more assistance for you.
No, sometimes the lack of knowledge, confirming the lack of knowledge is all the wisdom we need.
Ah, yes. Sometimes that is so true. So very true. Again, please, I'll be right back. And he's doing some more stuff and things like that.
So I'm just like, as Brent and I are just there, it's very much like I'm trying to judge like how talkative Brent is in the morning. Like, is it just like Brent is actually just not talkative, or traumatic events happen to make Brent not talkative, which seems valid. So
yeah,
depends on the number of tankards in front of Bryn.
That's a good point. You would notice that when Bryn's coffee arrives, she would pull like a little flask out from somewhere and like put a little bit of like amber colored liquid in the coffee, and she would like kind of when the doors to the back room open and we get a waft of this pastry smell, she would call over one of the servers and she'd be like, do you happen to have cinnamon rolls?
Oh, but of course, dear. They're baking right now. They'll be enjoying. And it's, oh no, just like I said, this beautiful just woman, aged well. She's 70 plus years, but she's aged so well. You almost feel as if there was like she was an Asimar, maybe not like there's some divineness to her, but it was definitely, she's like, it's coming down. Oh yes, I'll make sure and get you some.
And I kind of smile and I look back at Talico and I'd be like, my family didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid, and I would walk by a bakery near where I lived, and they had these in the window all the time, and I just kind of dreamed about having one. I've had a few since, but
Of course, but the smells can be familiar, and that longing can make them more delicious.
Exactly.
I wish I could taste cinnamon buns.
I wish you could too. They are quite something.
They are. They're a pleasant, almost a dessert for breakfast, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I started thinking, and maybe I can do something to see if there's a dragon around here. Would you like to know that?
Well, yes, of course.
DM, are we in a coast right now?
In a
coast?
Yeah, you're in a coastal town, yes.
Coastal town.
Mhm.
Okay, so
And
that's
then
my favorite terrain.
So you're in a coastal town, it's on the sea, and then just off of is where the swamp is. It's relatively, literally, it's swamp and then land and then, the coast.
Okay, so that is my favorite terrain.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my primeval awareness, and you have to tell me, I'm going to spend one of my spell slots, and to sense whether any aberration, celestial, dragon, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead are present within 1 mile of me.
Oh my god!
But it's 6 miles because I'm in my favorite terrain.
Ooh, 6 miles.
Holy.
And the thing I do is I actually
So
start.
spoiler, Robo's playing a ranger.
You don't know shit.
Maybe.
Do you have to? So it's any of those in those areas, or do you have to be asked specifically?
I am specifically asking for dragons right now, but what I do is just draw a dragon in my notepad,
Okay.
and I tear the page and just hold it into the wind, and if it moves around,
Okay.
there's a.
So as you're holding it, you sense for a second, and 6 miles gets you. It doesn't get quite to the swamp,
because it doesn't reveal the creature's location or number.
But you know that the swamp is where the dragons generally are, and it's at least a day and a half travel to get there. So you're not going to get anything in the swamp area, but in the area that you are in, you do not sense any dragons currently.
And I just see. Oh, it doesn't seem like there's a dragon here.
And at this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen, audience members, thank you for joining us, because we are going to embark upon something very, very new and very, very special. Carrie, would you please grab your envelope?
Oh!
I have it right here.
Please open the envelope.
I've been so excited about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I sent both Carrie and Jim, for their characters, an envelope that they could not open. And inside are some special in-person game materials.
Oh my God. There's sticky notes and things. Okay, there are envelopes. Do I pull all of them out?
You want to look for number 1. No. It has to say group 1.
It says group 1.
And does it say group 1, just group
read
1?
Number 1. It says group 1, read number 1 first.
Look for group number 1, number 2 in there. There might be more than one in there. What does that say?
5. That says group 5, group 7, group 3.
Okay, so group 1 only. Okay, so
okay,
group 1.
Group 1 is only this.
Only that one. You only want to put all of them back in.
Okay. Oh my God, guys, there's effing wax seals involved.
If
there's
you would
wax
like to,
seals.
if you would like to show,
I would love to. I hope the light will pick it up. It probably won't. I'll take a picture before I. But
okay.
There's a wax seal, and it's an A. And this envelope is like, it feels like homemade, guys. It feels like rough hewn paper, and the edges are like burned and stuff. That's effing cool, man. I'm taking a picture. Hold on a second. Sorry to make you all wait.
So this is a special treat we're doing for season 2. I sent off to both Jim and Carrie in-game props that to help with the storytelling.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Please open that one up, and inside there might be there are multiple things inside.
Oh my God. There's 3 things inside. They all say Bryn and Glassdock. All of them.
You want to grab number 1.
Okay. Oh, and there's numbers on the back. Okay, there's
1,
number
2,
1, and
three.
there's another wax seal, and it's also an A.
So, Bryn and Glassdock, as you are sitting there with everyone at the table, at the Wicker Goat, suddenly, that letter you are holding in your hand suddenly appears, comes flying in, and appears right in front of you, floating. And it says Glassdock and Bryn and Glassdock.
And Glassdock.
And there's a wax seal. That envelope you are holding in your hand appears right in front of you with the wax seal of an A.
I look at Glassdock nervously. Sorry, what?
I was just going to say, I thought you said that you were not wizards.
We're not, but our friend is. That's got to be from a Vero.
Oh, the A. And
Do I still have detect magic going? Like, can
Yes.
I pick up stuff from
And
it?
you,
Like,
yes, they're
Oh,
magical.
There's magic.
Roll me an Arcana.
There's magic afoot, all right.
oh, I'm great at
Wow.
Arcana with my +0. Oh, 13.
13.
13.
Hey.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
That's not bad.
This is weird. It's paper. It's stationary, but it's almost as if it's a sending spell. It's weird.
This is
Yeah,
remarkable.
That's totally a Vero.
Can I open it?
Open it and read it,
Flash.
please, and read it out loud.
I will be glad to read it out loud.
You
So
will
Bryn
read
kind of
read
Please
number
read it for the
one,
class.
and then you're gonna open up number 2 and read it, and then open up number 3 from group 1.
as soon as Glassdock says that's got to be a Vero, Bryn almost frantically opens it.
And you will hear a voice as you open it and the letter comes out. You will hear a Vero's voice. And what does a Vero's voice say?
Do I read the part that's crossed out also?
It's up to you.
Greetings and salutations to you, my illustrious companions.
Crossed out.
Hey, you old sons of beholders. It's also crossed out. My dear friends, I am writing to let you know that I am alive and in Saltmarsh, though not Saltmarsh as we know it. I appear to have traveled back in time roughly 100 years. And I look up at Glassdock, kind of encouraged. And that's it.
Suddenly, poof, another letter comes in and stands right in front of you. Number 2.
Oh, could have done it all on one stationery. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not grateful. I'm just the good news is that the Alchemist also.
I think the spell has a limit on how many letters he can send at one time.
Oh, you're right.
And you remember when you left the temple after the mission, he was given stationery of sending from the wizard.
Yep.
Side note, real quick, I got a timeout. The paper is like clothy and freaking, dude, this is remarkable. This is so freaking fun. The good news is that the Alchemist also seems to have traveled back in time, and I have tracked him to his home outside of town. The bad news is he has considerable resources at his disposal. I shall continue to monitor him whilst I pursue a few other avenues of inquiry. That's it.
Didn't say where outside of town.
I wish he had said where outside of town. We should have been more specific.
I'm going to give it to you because you remember the conversation you had with Tibbs and that the Malachist home outside of town, there is a haunted house outside of town called the Malister.
It was haunted when we were there.
Yes, it was haunted when you
Correct.
were there. But it's the same Malisker house, which is the same name as the Alchemist.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow. There is a number 3 involved. Does it appear? Or
Yes,
no?
it does.
Okay.
It comes flying in.
All right. Just making sure it poofed.
Yep,
I had to make sure I waited. Didn't want to preemptively poof. Oh, good. He has more to say. I shouldn't be annoyed.
Would you
with him.
expect
He's
any
not here and
less?
He's in great danger. Please let me know you have received this and that you are well. I look forward to your response. Your guild-mandated companion, and that's crossed out. Love, yours truly, Aviro.
Aww. I love guild mated. Guild.
Crossed out. I could freaking cry. And I just kind of like, I'm stunned, and I would just be like, he's here. I thought he was dead, or that we'd be searching through time for the rest of our lives. He's here, and he's close, and presumably alive.
Well, if he just sent these, then yes, he is alive. It's not like these take time to get there. They travel almost instantaneously.
Well, and all of a sudden, Talako and Goblin, you would notice you don't know Bryn very well. All of a sudden, she appears, or she's sitting up straighter. She appears less tired. She appears less sad. Like everything about her perks. And I'm like, well, seize the day.
Seize the day. We have a location. As soon as our stomachs are full, I say we figure things out. We figure out what we can about this house.
Well, if we're going to wait for our stomachs to be full, we might be here all morning. Although apparently Goblin is ready to go now. So
I'm just
maybe we take the average between the two.
Bryn would very quickly finish her coffee.
yeah, we can move now.
And as that happens, as you get up from the table, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
everyone, for joining us. Welcome to season 2 of Saltmarsh Legends. I am so glad you have joined us for this. Please watch us on Evolves. We are going to go around the table. Please, players, thank you for being here. Thank you, special guests. Please tell us who you are. Where can we find you? And we're going to start with Goblin and go around. Please. Thank you, Goblin, for joining. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad you are able to join us.
It me, Robo Goblin, and thank you so much. This was so fun, and this group is incredibly awesome. You can find me at TTRPKips on Twitter and on Twitch. Check my pinned tweet because I'm raising money for some stuff, and stay tuned for more stuff for Hispanic Heritage Month because we're gonna do something big.
Awesome.
Coming.
Yes.
And that me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, I am so excited that you were able to join us, and I look forward to telling a great story with you and your character. I am looking forward. I love this Goblin character. It is beautiful. Thank you.
No, thank you. It was so exciting playing with y'all. It's amazing.
Awesome. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm still marveling. I'm very carefully repackaging this because I'm going to save it forever. This is like masterclass in good DMing and good role playing on oh my god.
I like props, and this gave us the opportunity for this. And I will say, Jeff and I, thank you, Jeff. We've been putting this together for a long time and collaborating on this.
There's not one but 2 different colors of wax seals involved. Like, this is remarkable. Anyway, I'm Carrie. You can find me on some other channels as well. I'm on Mini Terrain Domain on Monday nights, where I play in Scribes and Scrolls Candlekeep Mysteries. I also play every second Wednesday of the month. Right now, I'm running my first campaign. We're playing Call of Cthulhu. It's pretty fun. We actually just did our first session last Wednesday. So if you're interested in seeing the VODs, you can find us on YouTube. And also, obviously, I am here, and this is what a frickin' place here is. This is amazing, guys. I so love our new friends, and this has been terrific. So cool.
Thank you, Carrie. Yes, I am a GM that loves props, and this is the perfect opportunity to share some crafting that I had. So thank you. And there is a lot more to come.
Yeah, there is. I can see.
And the cat's out of the bag, so to speak. So, Jim, wait for you get to open up yours next time.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, great.
Oh, boy.
Because Carrie has odd, and you have even.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you for joining us. Where can we find you?
Jim Hawkmere1 on Twitter, obviously here on Wednesday nights, and I'm also one of the lucky players that gets to play in the Shadowport Adventures game that Jay talked about at the beginning of the stream, starting in October 3rd. We've actually started playing, but we're not streaming it right now. So if you want to see me play a Jawa gunslinger, you should check that out when we start streaming those games.
What is your Jawa gunslinger's name?
His name is Clicky.
That will never not be funny to me.
Mhm.
And he thinks he's Doc Holliday from Tombstone. So,
That's a peach of a ham.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, except it sounds more like "Ota, tita, tota."
Oh yeah. That is the best part. Oh.
Yeah.
And just the interaction. So yes, check us
Yeah.
out. We'll get that. We'll talk about it in a moment. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Jim. It's always a pleasure to have you. Joshua, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our special guest player group. I thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
I am doing great. This was a hell of a lot of fun. After watching the stuff for season one, and I kind of did it backwards because I started with the finale and then watched the one before the finale, and then I started season one and moved forward. So I kind of did everything, all sorts of timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly type
bass
stuff.
backwards.
Candy wampus.
No, so I'm super, super excited to be here. Thanks so much for letting me guest and play Sandbox and just and more plants, more talking to plants. So for those who are interested, you can find me right here on Twitch. You can find me under Gintu Penguin. I stream Phasmo and horror games on Fridays and other days. If you want to know when else I'm streaming, follow me on Twitch because I'll always make sure I post on non-scheduled days. On Twitter, on Twitter, I am JRalTech. And most socials, I'm typically Gintu Penguin, except for Twitter for some reason. I just don't feel like fighting with the person who owns that handle. So yeah, JRalTech it is. Follow me out there. I am part of Champions of Eclipsia. I'm going to drop that footnote. I'm so excited to return for season 2. I play a lore bard who's coming out of his ignorance of the world and has learned more in like 1 or 2 nights out in the world than he did in a library for like 20 years. So no, it's fun. It's going to return next Thursday. So catch us right here on for Champions of Eclipsia for the return. And yeah, I will get a shout out. I know that Jay, you started off with it, but this is, or at least you alluded to it. So for those of you who are in the US, this is Suicide Awareness Month. So make sure you check in on your friends or acquaintances, even if they're doing okay. Check on them anyway. Sometimes some of the strongest people, the people who appear the strongest, are the ones who the needs checking on the most. So just check on everybody. Just be safe. And I'll repost the wiki for the hotlines, for the international hotlines.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's who I am, and that's where you can.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I am so glad that we are back. I'm so glad that both you, Robo, and Joshua were able to join us for this long story telling of the first part of season 2. I am Jay, also known as NeilFet3 on the socials. You can find me here. This is our channel. We are doing this. I play Ralph. I get to play a player. I'm not the GM on the Eclipsia. So Ralph, nice. I get to play a rough and tumbled shaper, bear type individual. So yeah, he's a vet. Very
he's fun.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Oh yeah. And then I said Sundays, October 2nd, we will be putting episode 1 of Shadowport Adventures, Luck of the Draw, which is the new campaign that we have some exciting players and a great storyline of just it. Check the socials, and especially with the Twitter when we start putting it out. So, yeah. I'm also going to be at several conventions coming up, Gamehole Con and PAX Unplugged coming down. And then again, we'll get our message and Nightbot all fixed, but we've got merch and everything else that we're going to be posting on our social. So take a look if you're interested. Patreon, support us how you can. We appreciate you. We're here to have fun. We want to share stories and we want to grow the channel. And that's what our goal is. We're going to grow the channel as much as we can. We're taking our time. We want to do it right. And we're here to have fun, and we're just here to enjoy it. We want to bring people together and just tell the good stories and have some fun, as I said. So with that, I will leave you with a wonderful evening. And the thing that I always like to say, what would I always like to say again? Be kind.
Be kind.
Kind and
Don't
be
a
jerk.
jerk.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, hey, we should raid someone, shouldn't we?
Yes.
Because that is always something that we should do.
But to whom?
Well, we do have the amphitheater is open.
The amphitheater.
The
Yeah.
amphitheater.
Duval's playing games.
Yep.
Yes.
Duval's. So
There's Free Forge.
yep. So
Or the Venture
V4 is always a good. Why don't we do?
Maidens.
Why don't we do Duval? Give Duval some love right away, and then we will go from there. So again, thank you so much. Have a lovely, wonderful evening, and we will see you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching.